You wouldn't expect these celebs in handcuffs. Here's the top 10 most unexpected celebrity arrests. Haley Joel Osment. Haley Joel Osment was your first call as a director in the 1990s and early 2000s if you needed a really gifted kid to feature in your film. From 1994 until 2003, Osment starred in a string of critically praised films, several of which were directed by A-list directors like Steven Spielberg and M. Night Shyamalan. His performances were consistently praised by critics, and he was on his way to becoming a superstar. Osment, like many other child stars, did not have a carefree childhood. After crashing his automobile into a mailbox when he was 18, Osment was arrested and charged with driving under the influence. We're still shocked that Forrest Gump Jr. has a mugshot. Winona Ryder. It's horrible to get caught shoplifting. It's terrible to be caught on camera shoplifting. And being caught on tape shoplifting when you're one of the most well-known actors on the planet is terrible. Winona Ryder was caught red-handed attempting to steal thousands of dollars worth of garments and jewelry from a Beverly Hills department store in 2001. The Golden Globe winner was charged with grand theft, shoplifting, and vandalism, and was sentenced to 480 hours of community service, 3 years of probation, and drug counseling. Ryder later admitted to being depressed and under the influence of medicines at the time of the incident. Even so, Hollywood was taken aback by the disaster. Hugh Grant. We're still trying to figure out what's going on with this one. Hugh Grant was arrested in Los Angeles in 1995, the same year he won a Golden Globe and a BAFTA for his portrayal in 4 Weddings and a Funeral. For receiving oral sex in a public area from a prostitute despite the humiliating arrest, Grant was on the road promoting his next feature 9 months and continued to appear on chat shows. Grant famously told late-night host Jay Leno, "I think you know in life what's a good thing to do and what's a bad thing. And I did a bad thing." He was dating Elizabeth Hurley at the time. Matthew Broderick. Matthew Broderick was one of the most popular movie stars in the 1980s. Despite this, he had a squeaky clean image, supported by boyish good looks, unlike so many other young stars. All of that changed in 1987. Broderick was traveling with his girlfriend, fellow actor Jennifer Grey, in Northern Ireland when he drove into the wrong lane and collided with an incoming vehicle. A woman and her mother were killed in the collision. Broderick claimed he had no recall of the accident or even getting up in the morning, as he put it. He was charged with death by reckless driving at first, but the penalty was eventually lowered to careless driving, and he received a fine of only $175. It was dubbed a farce of justice by the deceased's family. Martha Stewart. The last thing anyone expects when they're the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar lifestyle enterprise is for them to be sent to prison. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to Martha Stewart in 2004. Stewart was getting behind-the-scenes assistance from stockbroker Peter Bakanovic while America was preoccupied, watching her prepare the perfect apple pie. He had inside information that ImClone Systems stock was poised to plummet, so he urged Stewart to sell hers, which she did. This is known as insider trading, and it's against the law. Stewart was found guilty and given a 5-month sentence. Stewart has now recovered her position atop the lifestyle mountain, so anyone who didn't live through it may have no idea what occurred. Will Smith. Will Smith is seen by many as the Bel-Air raised, planet-saving, alien but kicker that we all dream we could be. For a long period, though, the actor kept a secret from the public. Smith was arrested in 1989, just as he was starting to create a name for himself as a rapper, for his role in an assault on record promoter William Hendrix. Smith allegedly ordered his bodyguard to hit Hendrix, who suffered a fractured orbital bone and was nearly blinded. Smith was eventually apprehended and charged with aggravated assault and criminal conspiracy, among other things, before spending the night in jail. The charges were ultimately dropped, and Smith has maintained that he had no involvement. Reese Witherspoon. Few actresses are more deserving of the title America's Sweetheart than Reese Witherspoon. With her mix of witty, intellectual, and adorable on-screen roles, the multi-talented actress won over Hollywood in her early 20s and has continued to impress audiences. She appeared to be the same pleasant lady off-screen as she was in her film and television roles. However, the public witnessed a different side of Witherspoon in 2013, and it led her into legal trouble. She got out of the car after her husband was pulled over on suspicion of DUI and began berating the officers. It became so terrible that she was arrested for disorderly conduct. The whole thing was caught on tape, which must have caused Witherspoon a lot of shame. Loughlin and Felicity Huffman. It's time to come out from under your rock if you're wondering why these two made the list. Actors Loughlin and Felicity Huffman of A Full House and Desperate Housewives, respectively, were accused of participating in a countrywide college admissions scheme in March of 2019. The FBI detained them and took them into custody on 2 counts of mail fraud apiece. Hundreds of other wealthy parents, including Loughlin and Huffman, were reportedly involved in a plan to help their children falsify athletic and/or academic records. In fact, Loughlin and her husband have been accused of paying $500,000 to get their daughters onto the USC crew team, despite the fact that neither of their kids had ever trained in the sport. Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars has a clean-cut appearance, so it's easy to assume he's always followed the rules. However, you might be surprised to find that in 2010, he was arrested in Las Vegas for cocaine possession. Mars was out partying with friends when he was discovered in the Hard Rock Casino restroom with a little Colombian Bam Bam, fresh off the success of his debut solo single, Just the Way You Are. He told the arresting officer he'd never done drugs before, but he later revealed it wasn't true in a 2013 GQ interview, saying, "I don't know where that came from. I was really intoxicated." He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to a $2,000 fine as well as community service. Tim Allen. Buzz. Say it ain't so. Sorry to disappoint you, but even Tim, the toolman and tailor, has run across Johnny Law's wrath. Allen was arrested for attempting to traffic 650 grams of cocaine at Kalamazoo or Battle Creek International Airport in 1978. That's right. You read that accurately. He pleaded guilty to the charges and was able to get his sentence reduced by handing up the drug traffickers with whom he was associated. Allen was released in 1981 after serving little over 2 years in jail. Allen would go on to have a very successful acting career, but he would make another mistake in 1997. He was arrested for DUI this time and sentenced to a year of probation. For a former drug trafficker, it's not terrible. Please tell us in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe to our channel.